Dear children, the unit that we are going to take up today for the revision of first year improvement exam is the sacred turtle of Kadavu. It's actually a travel experience to one of the Fijian islands called as Kadavu. Fiji is a group of islands. There are about 300 odd islands in Fiji, and there's a beautiful village called as Namoana in the island of Kadavu, and there's a ritual associated with that particular island. Let's see what that ritual is. It is said that chief of the village of Namoana had a beautiful daughter, a wife called as Tinekoboga, and a very charming daughter called as Rodalis. They always used to go for fishing on the reefs near their home. And one day they happened to go a little farther than they used to go, and they were so engrossed in their fishing that they did not notice the stealthy approach of a war canoe in which there were plenty of fishermen from the neighboring village of Nebukalev. And on seeing these women, they took them as hostages, and these women started crying aloud. They started making entreaties to these fishermen to leave them, but they did not listen to them, and they prayed to sea god, and the sea god responded by creating a storm, and this canoe was tossed up and down in the sea, and these women, they were transformed into turtles. And on seeing that, these Nibukalev men, fishermen, they got very frightened, and they tossed these turtles into the sea, and they just went away from there. So, in memory of these women who were transformed into turtles, every year a turtle calling ceremony is observed in the village of Namoana. It goes like this: that is, the maidens, young beautiful maidens of Namoana, dressed in their traditional costumes, will mount up a hill and they'll start chanting a song. It's actually a song of mourning to invoke turtles from the sea. And on listening to the chants by these maidens, turtles come out of the sea, and plenty of tourists throng to Namoana to watch this beautiful ritual. Now let's have a look at the questions that have been asked from this particular unit over the years. One question that was asked was imagine that you get a chance to interview one of the local women of Namoana. Frame 4 questions to interview her. So what kind of questions will you ask her? You can ask about the legend, isn't it? How long have you been observing this ritual? Why are you observing this ritual? And do you really believe in this legend, or else you can ask what is the meaning of the song that you chant? Questions like that. And another question which was asked last year was this: fishermen attacked these women, and they continued on the journey as if nothing happened. Very often we find that women who are victims of these sort of atrocities, they are segregated from the society. They are secluded. They always live in isolation, completely cut off from the society. And culprits, those people who do it, they live a life of dignity. They somehow get escaped from any sort of punishment, and they live a life of dignity. Do you agree to this? You might be asked to write. Last year it came as a blog. This particular question came as a blog, or else it might come as an article, or it might come as a letter. You will be asked to write a letter to the editor about this particular situation. So what are your views based on that? Do you really think that it is right that the culprits gets scot-free from any sort of punishment, and women have to live a life of isolation? What happens is that there is always a stigma attached to these women who are the victims of these sort of atrocities, as victims of abuse. Actually, it is not because of their fault, but unfortunately, society puts all the blame on them. Society looks upon them with they try to keep these women apart from the society. And what can be done? What is actually required is is that strict punishment should be given to these culprits. It is a responsibility of the government to see to it that such sort of cases are tried in fast track courts, and in law is enforced properly, and stringent punishment should be given to these sort of culprits, so that in future it will be a lesson for those people who indulge in these sort of crimes. And another thing is that an attitudinal change is required as far as these looking upon these women are concerned. An awareness has to be created, and give them ample opportunity, make them understand that, give them as far as possible, give them counseling, give them all the medical help, to boost their mental strength, and give them as much as opportunities as possible. It is a responsibility of the government as well as society to see to it that women of these women victims are given ample opportunities to come to the forefront of the society. They should be given opportunity to work with integrity and dignity. So they have to be given as much as confidence as possible that it is not their fault at all, whatever that has happened. Okay, so that is quite essential. Another question which was asked was this: a debate occurred between the fishermen of Nabokalev and the local women of Namoana, and 4 arguments raised by the fishermen in justification of their action was given, and you were asked to give counter arguments from the point of view of the women of Namoana. So what all arguments will they say? Definitely they will talk about the inhuman act of the fishermen. They'll definitely talk about the trauma that was caused to the family, how a life lost cannot be retrieved, and how they have made life unsafe for women in Namoana. So you can give these sort of arguments. Another question was this: the drama club of your school is going to stage a play based on the legend of the ritual of Namoana. So prepare a script for announcing the play. So that was one question which was asked once. You have to talk about the legend. How you're going to witness a beautiful play based on the legend that was once observed, in the village of Namoana. You can make reference to all sorts of rituals that we observe in our own country, and this is going to be one such a ritual, which would be an interesting experience for the audience. Then another question just asked was this: prepare a brief narration of the Fijian legend as if it was narrated by Tenaiko Boga. So it has to be written in first person narrative, because she is telling her experience, how she and her daughter used to go for fishing, how she used to enjoy that particular experience, and how they went a little farther than they usually go, and how these fishermen came, and how brutal they were and all that. Okay, how they prayed to God, the sea god, and the emotions which they had when they transformed themselves into the when they were transformed into the turtles. The agony and the pain that they cannot go back to their home and be with their loved ones, and all that. So you can mention her painful experience. Question which is frequently asked is to prepare a live TV report of the turtle calling ceremony. Just as we've discussed about the live TV report about the takeoff of Lahola that you might prepare. So it's like that. It's going to be a first-hand experience. Imagine that you are a reporter standing standing at the occasion watching the turtle calling ceremony. You have to mention about the festive atmosphere over there. You can mention about how thousands of tourists throng to this place to watch this ceremony whenever it it is being observed, how this particular island has become a center of attraction. It is how every time people are being attracted to this particular place due to this turtle calling ceremony, which is an unusual occurrence. You can mention about the legend that is attached with it. You can mention about how the women mount up the hill dressed in their traditional costume. What a beautiful sight to watch, them mounting up the hill chanting a song. You can mention about the content of the song, actually what does it mean actually, and the amazing or mesmerizing sight you witnessed when the turtle started rising from the sea in response to the chants by these women. Okay, you can conclude by saying that you have to really come here and watch this particular ceremony, as to realize the impact of what you have seen. Another likely question which you can get is, you might be asked to write an article about any of the rituals that are observed in your state or country. Last year we have done assignments based on that particular question. We have written about Theyyam, we have written about Mudiyatam, we have written about Urli Kamirthal, and so many other, plenty of rituals, and we were amazed at the number of rituals that were discussed in our classes. And so you can prepare well to write about at least one ritual. Okay. Another question that was asked was, travel is an experience which broadens the bounds of our knowledge. Narrate a travel experience which provided both entertainment as well as knowledge. Imagine that you went to a place of historical importance or cultural significance, and the things that you learned, everything that you get to learn from that particular place is a new experience for you, something which you have not known so far. So it provides a journey, always provides us a lot of fun and entertainment. At the same time, you get to learn a new things also. Every new journey is a learning experience. So what all things which you learned by your visit to that particular place, your interactions with the local people over there, something you came to know about that particular place, and all that you can write. Okay. Then another question was this: you are the reporter of a local daily who happened to witness the abduction or the kidnapping of these two women. So write a news report to be published the next day about the kidnapping of these women. Newspaper report, you have to give a title, you have to mention the date, day, and all that, and how you were the initial line should be about the abduction that has happened, which shocked the village of Namoana, and what you actually saw, how these women were fishing and how the boat came, and suddenly the arrival of the storm. And since you could not see the transformation of the women into turtles, you might have seen how they threw the turtles into the sea, and no news about these women. So all these you can mention in your report. Okay, you can mention about the trauma of the family, how the village was shocked by this whole incident and all that. Then another question, a gentle question. Nature always works as a magical medicine on the troubled mind of man. Have you had any personal experience of nature's blessings? Imagine that you were, troubled by a lot of worries in your life, and you want to take a break, and you go to a place of calm, and go to a calm and serene place, a place of scenic beauty. And after reaching over there, you get an experience as if the nature is soothing your wounds and your troubles and sorrows and all that. So have you ever had such experience in your life when you are emotionally down, and then you happen to visit a place, and then how it lifted your morale, something like that. Then another question, a short question that was once asked was, why wouldn't the turtles rise to the shore if Nebukale women were present? We know, isn't it? Because these men were responsible for the abduction of the princess and the queen and the princess. So that was why these turtles would not rise. So these are the things, these are the usual questions that were asked over the years in the question paper. When you are studying this particular unit, keep all these questions in mind, especially the live TV report, and then you might be asked to write about another ritual which you are quite familiar of. Questions related to the legend will definitely be asked. Should we throw with the legend, and also interviews can be asked. Interviewing the local women of Namuana, or interviewing one of the maidens who mounted up the hill to observe the ceremony. So all these sort of questions you can expect from this particular unit. So prepare well. Thank you.